drugs and dhoka. Sonali Phogat murder unravels. Mystery over injuries on body. Curious case of Goa shack girlies. India Today uncovers the truth. The Sonali Phogat murder files. An India Today special investigation at 8 p.m.
Drugs, death and dhoka. The Sonali Phogat murder is unraveling, and how. Her personal assistant, his associate are already under arrest. There are videos of Sonali being forced to have a spiked drink. India Today's special investigation team has uncovered more murky details about the events surrounding Sonali's death. The doctor who conducted the autopsy in Goa has made some stunning revelations. Here is part 1 of India Today's special investigation, the Sonali Phogat murder files.
Untouched forest, swaying palms, a lush passage to a seafront shack. A restaurant that packs untrammeled hedonism inside. Sonali Phogat was allegedly drugged here while partying. Rules apparently bent. Inhibitions lost. And consequences turned fatal for the former TikTok star. An imminent closure of Curly's restaurant in sight, with the Goa police now moving to have its permit cancelled.
हमने गोवा सरकार को लिख दिया है स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड करके कि इस केस की सीबीआई जांच कराने के लिए वो कार्रवाई करें.
As the Phogat case snowballs, India Today has reached out to one of the two senior doctors involved in the post-mortem. Dr. Mandar Kantak candidly shared his opinion. Turns out that the autopsy he conducted has revealed multiple external injuries on the woman's body.
इंजरी किस बॉडी किस पार्ट में
है? बॉडी में है, हर जगह है.
पूरे बॉडी में इंजरी है
और लेस बाहर है, हाथ में, पैर में, अराउंड लेग्स. आई सेड नो, लेग्स, बटक्स, थाइज पे इंजरी है. थोड़ा वो गिरी और उसने हिट द वॉल इन द टॉयलेट. दैट इज व्हाट द एक्यूज्ड सेड. दैट इज
उसके यहाँ पे भी
है. इसलिए अंदर नहीं है, बाहर है, छोटा है लेकिन है. वी राइट अ 7 pages report. Every detail is written in that. There is nothing left for discussion in that. If further discussion is required, it can only come after I get all these reports.
Phogat was declared dead on arrival at Goa's St. Anthony Hospital early Tuesday. Her family withheld consent for autopsy till Thursday. Dr. Mandar Kantak fears the 2-day delay in Phogat's post-mortem could prove critical in determining the drug overdose. In his opinion, the viscera samples must be examined in a designated lab without further delay.
2 दिन के बाद 2 दिन वो बैठ के क्या कर रहे थे और क्या किया वो मुझे मालूम नहीं.
आपके पास बॉडी 2 दिन बाद आई है?
नहीं, बॉडी इधर थी लेकिन पोस्टमार्टम 1-2 दिन बाद हुआ ना, क्योंकि 2 दिन के बाद जो रिपोर्ट हमको दिया उन्होंने एक ही लाइन लिखा, नेचुरल, कुछ नहीं, इंजरीज कुछ नहीं, ऐसे पैचेज है. तो ब्लाइंड केस आपको दिया, सब कुछ मालूम होते हुए भी, तो आपका क्या परिस्थिति होगी? तुम बोलो। ये क्या होता है ना, जब दोज ये wherever the power is and wherever who wants to turn it the way he or she wants, later उनको मैं दूँ, हम क्या, हम तो एक सर्वेंट है और एम्प्लॉई है, हमारा साइंटिफिक जितना है हम करेंगे और उतना ही किया हमने.
So drugs, not poison.
Poison and drugs and poison है ना. For us drug is a poison.
अच्छा.
Narcotic drugs, psychotropic substance, everything which is causing harm is for poison. अब उसमें कॉम्बिनेशन क्या है, अल्कोहल हो सकता है, दूसरा हो सकता है, हमको मालूम आना. And I hope it come positive, क्योंकि ये drugs ना, especially these psychedelics and all this, they are transient drugs. They are taken only for effect for few hours. And I hope they get it done fast. That is only I hope.
तो कब भेजना है पुलिस डिसाइड करती है?
हमने उनको दिया है ऑलरेडी, अब वो एड्रेस चेंज कर रहे हैं, कहाँ पे भेजना है, फिर कब में भेजना है उनके मन में आएगा, तब भेजेंगे. दिस इज व्हाट दिस डिलेज एवरीथिंग. फटाफट भेजा तो अच्छा होता है.
ये आप डिसाइड नहीं करते हैं?
नहीं.
पुलिस डिसाइड करती है कि किस फॉरेंसिक लैब में जाएगा या
कहीं भी भेज सकते हैं.
तो ये हार्ट अटैक हुआ या फिर क्या हुआ?
हार्ट का कुछ नहीं है उसमें, लेकिन हमने टेस्ट के लिए रखा.
अच्छा.
सब टेस्ट के लिए रखा.
इनिशियल में हार्ट का कुछ नहीं है,
बायनाश नहीं होगा इसलिए, लेकिन हमने टेस्ट के लिए रखा क्योंकि ये सब है ना, हार्ट बोल रहे.
तो फिर क्या कॉज ऑफ डेथ फिर क्या था?
हमने रिजर्व रखा है ना, वो सब टेस्टिंग वैसा के लिए जा रहा है ना. So rule in the favor of all these drugs things.
Haunted once again by its own easygoing culture. Drugs and the alleged murder of a former social media star earns Goa a darker reputation once again. A report by Special Investigation Teams Muhammad Hizbullah for India Today.
At the center of the Sonali Phogat murder case is a shack in Goa's Anjuna Beach, Curly's. This is where Sonali partied the night before she died. This is where she was given MDMA by her personal assistant. The shack owner has now admitted that he allowed drugs at his joint. But it's been an open secret in Goa that drugs are available and consumed commonly at Curly's. So who allowed these brazen violations? Here is part 2 of India Today's special investigation.
It's golden sand, it's stunning blue waves. It's beach shacks, little churches, and classic castles. But this Eden along the Arabian Sea is battling its own underbelly. A series of murders, rapes, mystery deaths, and drug-related crimes over the past 15 years bear testimony to Goa's malaise. The seafront restaurant is no stranger to controversy. Police suspect her assistant drugged Sonali Phogat at Curly's on the Anjuna Beach. The same restaurant hit the headlines 14 years ago. Back then, the mother of British teenager Scarlett Keeling alleged her daughter had visited Curly's just before coming to the spot where she was sexually assaulted and left to die. In the Phogat case, the management of Curly's stands accused of allowing narcotic activities on their property. An India Today investigation appears to corroborate the charge. Patrick Savio Almeida was the Sarpanch of Anjuna Panchayat from 2012 till the 12th of August this year. Almeida insisted he received numerous complaints about drug use at
बहुत कंप्लेन मिला मुझे
खरलीच के लिए।
हाँ
किस तरह की?
ये सब पूरा वेटर लोग ड्रग बेचता है उधर पूरा बच्चा लोग को खराब किया है। पुलिस तो बोलेगा हफ्ता उन लोग को चालू है, कौन बोलेगा?
तो पंचायत के आप इंचार्ज से तो आपके पास भी वो कभी ऑफर नहीं किया उसने?
नहीं, मुझे किया था।
हाँ।
मैं बोला हमको कभी नहीं, मैं बात नहीं करते उससे। मैं उसको बोला था क्या म्यूजिक बनाना चाहिए, नॉट डिस्टर्बिंग द पब्लिक। एंड जो तुम ड्रग्स का पार्टी कर रहा है वो सब ये करके बीच बंद करके वो नहीं चाहिए, इसलिए वी आर फाइटिंग फ्रॉम दैट डे टिल टुडे।
तो उसने क्या बोला?
क्या करता है वो करता है, नहीं करता है, बाद में इसको लाता है, वो पुलिस को सेट करता है। मैं अकेला भी गया था बंद करने के लिए।
तो आप एक ही बार आपने अटेम्प्ट किया था?
एक नहीं 10 बार किया था पहले
बंद करने के लिए।
थ्रू पंचायत कंप्लेंट भी बहुत भेजा है।
अच्छा।
And there is a big lobby now. As gradually the lobby is increasing now. Drugs का lobby अभी पहला कौन था? You never heard also about drugs. Now you can hear everywhere.
संतुष्ट नहीं हमको।
Chinna is a drug peddler, supplying drugs like LSD, MDMA and ganja to Goa's famed beaches and restaurants, Curly's included.
क्या क्या मिलेगा?
बोले जब आऊँगा तब फोन करना।
क्या क्या मिलेगा?
एम मिलेगा, पेपर मिलेगा, एम मिलेगा,
MD।
हाँ
और पेपर
और
गांजा। ये 3। 1 ग्राम का क्या रेट है?
6000 आपको बताया था।
6000।
पूरा क्रिस्टल पूरा 1 ग्राम के ऊपर रहेगा। आपके साथ में करूँगा, उधर भी अपने रेस्टोरेंट में करना था आपको। प्योर जो चीज़ है तुम यकीन भी नहीं करोगे तो आने के लिए।
गोवा में कहाँ देख भाई, मेरे को रिलेशन बनाते हैं उसे।
हाँ।
कहाँ तू सप्लाई कर देगा मेरे को?
कहाँ तक?
हाँ।
गोवा में
हाँ।
कलंगुट, बागा, कांदोलियम, अंजुना तक।
अंजुना तक?
ज़्यादा दूर नहीं जाएंगे सर, क्योंकि ना रिस्क चीज़ है, लेकिन घूमना भी बहुत डेंजर चीज़ है।
अंजुना तक पहुँचा देते हो?
हाँ बस इतना दूर तक तो कर सकते हैं। अंजुना तक सब कुछ करलीज वर्लीज सब पटाऊँ सर, ऐसा कुछ नहीं।
करलीज में सप्लाई देता है?
कस्टमर अच्छा हो, अपने भरोसेमंद हो तो तभी देंगे, नहीं तो नहीं देंगे।
अच्छा
वो है। इन्वेस्टिगेशन क्या चीज़ का कर रहे हैं आप?
V. Pednekar is the manager at Curly's. When probed, he confessed drug consumption by guests is common at his Anjuna Beach restaurant. As an employee though, Pednekar couldn't do much to stop it.
अभी कल भी एक कस्टमर इधर ब्रेकफास्ट में बैठा था, मैं आपको सिंसियरली बोल रहा हूँ, उसके पास भी कुछ था, वो रोल कर रहा था। मैंने बोला सर ये क्या है? प्लीज सर जस्ट पे माई बिल एंड प्लीज गो फ्रॉम हियर।
तो डेली कितने लोगों को आपको बाहर हटाना पड़ता है यहाँ से? मतलब नहीं तो जैसे कि डेली कितने आप लोगों को लगता है कि ड्रग लिया हुआ है या फिर कुछ रोल करके पी रहा है, तो कितने लोगों को आप लोग हटा देते हैं? भाई
मैक्स टू मैक्स ऐसा 8-9 कस्टमर हमको दिन में ही मिल जाते हैं। बाहर से आते हैं, एक बियर लेते हैं, इधर बैठ जाते हैं। हमारा कुछ भी नहीं है, बियर हमारा है, टेबल हमारा है, रेस्टोरेंट हमारा है, बाकी क्या?
नहीं तो मतलब आप कह रहे हैं 8-10 लोगों को डेली आप लोग निकालते हैं?
बाउंसर रहते हैं ना, नहीं सुन रहे तो बिल क्लियर करके जाओ भाई साहब, हम लोग तुमको हैंडल नहीं कर सकते। बाकी दूसरे कस्टमर को इधर कस्टमर आते हैं सुकून लेने के लिए, रेस्ट लेने के लिए।
आप ही कभी कह रहे थे 8-10 लोगों को डेली हम निकालते हैं, ठीक है, आई विल नॉट राइट योर नेम। सो आप इनको यहाँ से हटाने के बजाय पुलिस को क्यों नहीं कॉल कर लेते कि भाई पुलिस आओ, इसको ले जाओ या ड्रग्स है इसके पास?
नहीं सर, एक बार हमारे प्रीमाइसिस से वो चला गया, मतलब हमारा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। मैं पुलिस को बुलाकर खाली दूसरा कस्टमर को ईगो हर्ट नहीं करना चाहता है। नहीं पुलिस इधर आए, मुझे ये भी नहीं चाहिए, बिकॉज मोस्टली गुड फैमिलीज आती है, डिनर करती रहती है, रिलैक्स करते हैं, बैठते हैं, बातें करते हैं, और अचानक पुलिस आ गई है तो ये भाई क्या चक्कर है, इधर पुलिस भी आती है, ऐसा होता है, फिर नेगेटिव थिंकिंग होती है। तो इससे अच्छा कस्टमर को ही बोलो सिंसियरली, भाई सर आप पेमेंट करो और जाओ।
The notorious record of Curly's has now come haunting. Police in Goa have initiated the process to have its license revoked. But it's not about just one restaurant. It's about Goa's paradise reputation. Unraveled by violent crimes and drugs in a decade and a half. High time the dreamy idyll moved to reverse its sinking fortunes. A report by special investigation teams Mohammad Hizbullah and Arvind Ojha for India Today.
To talk about this big India Today investigation and the Sonali Phogat case in general, I want to go across live and exclusive to Panjim in Goa, where I'm joined by the state's Director General of Police, Jaspal Singh. He's the man leading the teams investigating this sensational murder mystery. Mr. Singh, welcome to India Today. This is a case that's being tracked nationwide. Sonali Phogat, because of her TikTok and social media renown, was well known in the northern parts of our country. Can you start by telling me about where the Goa Police's investigation stands as of today, Mr. Singh?
As of now, the investigation is just about 5 days old, and initially, because there was no injuries on the body of the deceased, so we were just taking it as a case of 174 CRPC, that is unnatural death. And subsequently, when the family members came on 23rd August, then they expressed certain apprehensions, they raised suspicions on certain individuals, and subsequently we registered a case of murder and started the investigation in a very earnest way. And the two people were placed under arrest, and now one team from Goa Police has already reached Hisar also to verify the allegations leveled by the family. These two persons are in police custody, and we are interrogating them, and at the same time we have also recorded the statements of other witnesses who were there at that time in that particular restaurant, to establish the sequence of events which led ultimately to the death of late Mrs. Sonali Phogat. And the investigation is in progress, and we will definitely reach at some conclusion after some time.
The initial reports that came out of Goa had the police seeming to suggest Sonali died of a heart attack. Why was the police initially in such a rush to call this a case of heart attack? Why did it seem that you were looking to jump the gun initially?
No, Goa Police never said initially that it is a heart attack. It was basically the person, the one who is now in our custody. He spoke to somebody in Haryana, and from Haryana, even the Director General of Police Haryana also spoke to me that so and so has probably died of heart attack, and we want to know what has exactly happened. So this is how the information traveled, and when our officers reached the concerned St. Anthony Hospital and found out, so the local doctors who had examined the deceased, they probably came to some conclusion that probably the symptoms were of heart attack. And this is how the message, because we had not even taken the body in possession at that time.
India Today's own investigation from Goa suggests that Sonali's body had external injury marks. The question that would be uppermost in everybody's mind is, how did the TikTok star die? Was she poisoned? Was she beaten up? How is it that Sonali ended up dead?
And those injuries which are there on the body, they could not have come by assaulting or by any impact injury. They are just injuries of force when some force is vertically supplied on the body, because when she was picked up from Curly's hospital, so the injuries are on those parts where these individuals applied the pressure in lifting the body up and putting the body in the car. So those injuries are of very small dimension, and they are not exactly referred to as injury, they are just abrasions. So this is how it is.
India Today's expose caught drug peddlers, the manager of the Curly Shack, on camera accepting that drugs are sold at this particular shack in Anjuna and suggesting that the local authorities and the Goa police know about it and they seem to be on the take to allow this to happen. How do you respond, Mr. DGP?
No, it is incorrect to say that, because Goa police has a zero tolerance policy. We have arrested a number of drug peddlers, and not only Indians but foreigners also, and we have seized huge quantity, primarily being a iconic tourist destination. Tourists from here and there in different modes of transportation, they travel to Goa. So probably in certain cases we sometimes found when we arrested certain people that they bring small quantity of drugs for their consumption from other states as well. So we have so far arrested large number of people, and even after this incident also 4 people have been arrested, including the caretaker and the person who is in control of the Curly's restaurant.
Goa is India's holiday capital. What do you intend to do about acting against Curly's? Do you have a larger plan for a clampdown on this drug authority mafia? Will life just return to normal and these rave parties and drug jamborees go on in the way that they were? Or do you have a plan for acting against this drug syndicate?
You see, it is basically small time drug peddlers. There is no mafia operating in Goa, and the quantity seized also is in very small quantity. It's not like that, because we are not closer to any international border, and even maritime traffic is also very limited to Goa. So we don't see it that way. It is just that it is a iconic tourist destination like any other Indian tourist destination, where large number of tourists come and readily demand is available, people have the purchasing power. So the drug scenario, the structure of the drug scenario is different in Goa as compared to the locations which are closer to international border or which are closer to international maritime boundary. So it is, you can say in police parlance, we say it's a consumption center, small quantity consumption center.
Sure, but do you intend to act against places where these drugs are being provided for consumption? What action do you intend to take against Curly's, for example? Why don't you cancel its license?
Well, we are not the licensing authority. Yesterday a joint inspection was carried out by our sub-divisional police officer and the executive magistrate. So we will submit these findings, and we will also write to the licensing authority that since these incidents have happened in the past also, so we would recommend that the license of the owner should be cancelled.
Before I conclude, what happens next? Are you confident that you'll be able to crack the Sonali murder case files? What, according to you, is the motive behind this murder? Why is it that Sonali was killed?
You see, we are, as I said earlier, that we are at a very initial stage of investigation. The case was registered on 23rd, and today we are on 31st. Our team is in Hisar. They will go to Gurgaon also. They will go to Noida also, because family members expressed a suspicion that she has probably been killed because of the property. The team would look into all aspects, even about the banking accounts of the deceased also, who is the nominee in those accounts. So there are a number of ways in arriving at the motive of the murder, or whether it is a homicidal, not amounting to murder, murder. But though we have registered a case and we are going as if it is a murder, and all kinds of leads are being pursued, so we will leave no stone unturned to arrive at any conclusion.
I leave it over there. Mr. Jaspal Singh, Director General of Police in Goa, speaking out for the first time on the Sonali Phogat murder files. I want to go across now to our guests who are joining us to talk about this Big India Today investigation, starting with Vikas Singhmar. He's a nephew of Sonali Phogat. Sachin Phogat is another relative of Sonali. Dr. Sabina Martins joins us, founder of Belancho Sat, works against the drug mafia in Goa. And I have a special guest joining me, Fiona McCowan. She is Scarlett Keeling's mother. The Scarlett Keeling case still shocks people when people look at the gory details of what happened to young Scarlett Keeling. And remember, one part of that case also played itself out at the same shack in Anjuna in Goa. So I want to go across first to the mother of Scarlett Keeling, Fiona McCowan. You're looking, ma'am, at this case, part of it playing itself out once again at Curly's in Anjuna, a place which I'm sure has left a deep scar in your heart. Now when you see the fact that not much seems to have changed since that gruesome murder of young Scarlett, what goes through your mind as you see all the details about the Sonali Phogat case coming out in the public domain?
Well, not much has changed is what goes through my mind, really. But why should it? When, years ago, when I think it was Mika Pacheco opened a case against the Home Minister and his son then, trying to unprove connections between him and the drug mafia. There were the famous huge videos of Tala and Roy Naik and smoking a bong together, and Tala buying drugs from a policeman. So how can the police deny that any of this is true now? It's still going on, and the fact that nothing was done is going to give confidence to any other minister's children to believe that they're above the law.
Are you hopeful, given the kind of attention this particular case is attracting, that we just heard the DGP say that the license is being cancelled and Curly's is being acted against, that there will be some action against the drug criminal nexus mafia that operates in Goa? Or do you think this is just very ephemeral? It will happen just till the time there is media attention and then things will come back to normal?
I'm always hopeful, but I've heard it all before, to be quite honest, and I've been watching the news and these cases in Goa for 15 years now, and I still haven't seen anybody actually take any strong action against the criminals that think they're above the law. Although they're being proven that they're above the law, they're getting away with drugs and murder, and nothing's being done.
That's quite unfortunate. Naturally, given the fact that the Scarlett Keeling case is still in people's memories and that not much has changed since, would seem to suggest that there isn't really much reason for hope. Stay with me, Fiona. I want to go across to Vikas Singhmar. He's a nephew of Sonali Phogat, and we've got Sachin Phogat as well. विकास और सचिन, आप ये बताएं सबसे पहले कि ये आपके हिसाब से सोनाली फोगट के साथ क्या हुआ, जितनी जानकारी आपके पास है, जो आप उनको पहले से उनके बारे में जितना जानते थे, उस सब के हिसाब से आपके अनुसार सोनाली की हत्या किसने की और क्यों?
हेलो
जी, बोलिए बोलिए।
हेलो,
मैं सुन सकता हूं आपको।
ये सोनाली फोगाट जी की हत्या सुधीर सांगवान ने की है।
आपके हिसाब से क्यों की है उनकी हत्या?
हेलो सर, ये कोई प्रॉपर्टी का चक्कर भी हो सकता है और इसके पीछे किसी का हाथ भी हो सकता है हत्या करने में। उसने सोची समझी साजिश के तहत ही हत्या की गई है, क्योंकि पहले सोनाली फोगाट जी को चंडीगढ़ ले जाया गया, उसके बाद बॉम्बे से गोवा, ये सोची समझी चाल के तहत ही उनको गोवा ले जाया गया था और उनको मतलब ड्रग्स या कोई मतलब जहरीला केमिकल पिलाकर उनकी हत्या की गई है।
नहीं तो ये जो दोनों लोग हैं, शिवम और सुखविंदर, जिनको इस केस में अक्यूज्ड बनाया गया है, आरोपी बनाया गया है, आपके हिसाब से उनका क्या कनेक्शन था सोनाली फोगाट के केस के साथ और इस मर्डर के साथ?
सर, जो ये शिवम और सुखविंदर हैं, सुखविंदर तो इसके साथ था, सुधीर सांगवान के साथ गोवा गया था और ये मतलब इसमें दोनों का हाथ था, सुखविंदर का और सुधीर का। और शिवम जो है यहाँ पे मतलब कंप्यूटर ऑपरेटर का काम करता था फार्म पे, सोनाली फोगाट जी के फार्म पे जी। और इसके सुधीर सांगवान के कहने से ही वो मतलब लैपटॉप और मोबाइल, डीवीआर और जरूरी दस्तावेज यहाँ से चुरा के ले गया था।
नहीं,
ताकि सारे सबूत मिटाए जा सके।
जो ये केस निकल के सामने आ रहा है उसमें ऐसा बताया जा रहा है कि सोनाली फोगट का एक फार्म हाउस था गुड़गांव में, ग्रीन गुरुग्राम सोसाइटी में, टावर 4 सेक्टर 102 फ्लैट नंबर 901, और इसको सुधीर सांगवान ट्रांसफर करा रहा था अपने नाम पे। तो ये जो पूरा मामला है उसके बारे में आप क्या जानकारी?
सर, सुधीर सांगवान ने 10-12 दिन पहले ही इस फार्म के मतलब दस्तावेज उसमें करवाए थे। मतलब ये किसी और के पास था पहले, मतलब जिस तरह कॉन्टेक्ट पे होता है, उसके बाद मतलब इसने हटवा दिया था और ये अपने फिराक में था कि इसको भी अपने उस पे चढ़वा के फार्म हाउस पे भी कब्जा कर ले।
नहीं, पर ये सारी चीजें तो कैमरे पे कैप्चर है ना
सोनाली फोगाट जी,
पर ये सारी चीजें तो कैमरे पे कैप्चर हैं, तो ये इतने कच्चे खिलाड़ी कैसे हो सकते हैं? अगर ये इनका मंसूबा था इसको इस तरीके से ड्रग करना, तो ये पूरा की ड्रिंक पिला रहा है, वो लेके जा रहा है, ये सारा तो कैमरे पे कैद है। ये तो खुद ही अपने आप को इंक्रिमिनेट कर रहे हैं एक तरीके से।
नहीं सर, कैमरे में तो कैद है ये। इसकी मतलब इसको पहले सोनाली फोगाट जी को इसने मतलब अपने पूरे कॉन्फिडेंस में लिया। कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके इसने परिवार वालों से अलग करवाया है। सोनाली फोगाट जी को परिवार वालों से बिल्कुल अलग कर दिया। ना ही किसी परिवार वालों से बात करने देता, ना ही किसी का फोन अटेंड करता। अगर फोन करते तो बोल देता कि मैडम नहीं है, बाहर गए हुए, और नंबर वगैरह सब डिलीट कर देता था फैमिली मेंबर्स के।
पर क्यों ऐसा क्या हुआ सोनाली और उनकी फैमिली के रिश्ते में, जिसकी वजह से सोनाली अपनी फैमिली से दूर हो गई?
सर, सोनाली फोगाट को फैमिली से दूर करने वाला मात्र एक बंदा है, सुधीर सांगवान, जिसने मतलब सोची समझी चाल के तहत प्रॉपर्टी हड़पने की कोशिश की। इसलिए उसको फैमिली से दूर हटाना चाहता था, क्योंकि फैमिली मेंबर जब तक साथ थे तो वो सोच रहा था कि इनको मतलब कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता मैं, जब तक फैमिली मेंबर साथ है जब तक मैं इनका कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ सकता। और फैमिली मेंबर को सबसे पहले अलग करना उसकी सोची समझी चाल थी, ताकि वो मतलब अकेला मौके का फायदा उठाकर ये सब कुछ कर सके।
तो सुधीर और सोनाली का कितने वक्त से रिश्ता था? कब से एक दूसरे को जानते थे? कैसे इन दोनों की जान पहचान हुई?
ये 2019 में इलेक्शन के टाइम में, आदमपुर विधानसभा का इलेक्शन था, उस टाइम में ये आया था पीए। इसने पीए की भूमिका के रूप में आया था और तब से ही ये मतलब पूरा 24 घंटे साए की तरह मैडम के साथ था। इसने मैडम को अपने फुल कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके ही परिवार वालों को अलग किया है। और ये सारा हत्या का जो इसने हत्या की है, ये सोची समझी साजिश के तहत की है।
नहीं, आप ये कह रहे हैं और हो सकता है कि ये बात भी सही है, लेकिन इसका आपके पास प्रमाण क्या है, सबूत क्या है?
सर, सबूत यही है, क्योंकि मतलब मैडम का कोई प्रोग्राम नहीं था गोवा का, कोई शूटिंग नहीं थी। वहाँ पे परिवार वाले गोवा पहुंचे तो वहाँ पता किया वहाँ कोई शूटिंग नहीं थी। इसकी सोची समझी चाल थी। इसको पहले मैडम को बॉम्बे, वहाँ चंडीगढ़ ले जाया गया, चंडीगढ़ से बॉम्बे लेके गया और फिर सर इसने मतलब ड्रग्स और केमिकल पिलाया पानी की बोतल में। तो ये हत्या करने के प्रयास से इसने किया है और मेरा 101% दावा है कि हत्या इसी ने की है, सुधीर सांगवान ने ही।
Okay, stay with me. I also want to go across at this time to Sabina Martins. She works against the drug mafia that operates in Goa. And Sabina, we just heard from the Director General of Police, Jashpal Singh. He seems to suggest that this is not really a problem in Goa, that it's a very small consumption side problem, that is not really a big player in the drug network in India and globally. You're on the ground. Do you buy that, or do you think the local authorities are just trying to play the drug nexus down?
No, the drug issue is being underplayed in Goa. It is a very big issue. Tourists come, enjoy, and the environment that is created over here, that you can have drugs, you can gamble, you can you can drink, and so many other activities. And this is the environment which is there, and lots of crimes are happening, and the impact is more on the local population. The local population, the families are in pain, distress because of this menace of drugs. And as a women's organization, we have lots of cases of women coming to us. Now, apparently, it looks as it is a case of domestic violence. So when they come to us, and then we realize that the person, the husband, is addicted. is a drug addict. Then we have the women who are selling tea and on the roadside. They see a lot of activities happening on the beach. Now they are threatened by these people who are peddling drugs. So they come to us with their issues. We had a person from the shack who is, the widow had come because she had some issues, and we realized that her husband died because of this issue of drugs. We had a case of minor who was induced into drugs, and she came from a poor family, and to keep her into the addiction, they introduced her to sexual activity. The mother complained, but the police did not register a complaint. And we had gone right up to the DGP, not the present DGP, the former DGP, but no action was taken. So there are many cases which are drug related, but everything is downplayed, and that's why right from Scarlet healing time till today, nothing has changed on the ground.
Fiona, as you hear this, do you accept what the Director General of Police in Goa just said, that this is just a consumption side problem? It's not really a big player on the drug network in India and globally, or do you think he's just trying to underplay the drug problem in Goa?
I think that's rubbish. I think that's rubbish. I think they've always tried to play it down, because if they don't and they actually accept and face what's going on, then they've got to take responsibility and do something, and they haven't. You know, there's many cases. I might have had somebody might have been convicted in our case, in Scarlett's case, but I don't know if that man is innocent or not. I still believe the Home Minister's son back then, Roy Knight, had something to do with it. And there are the other cases. What about, Felix Dahl and Dahlia McLaughlin and Denise Sweeney? All of those tourists have been murdered in Goa and have had no justice yet. They've all been promised fast-track courts, but that's all words. Actions speak louder than words. So what the DGP has got to say, I don't accept. I'm sorry.
Dr. Sabina, the fact that Curly's will now be acted against, its license taken away, do you think that's a start, or do you think it's A, too little, too late, and B, given the connections of the owners of Curly's, that they could potentially get their license back in just a few weeks or months from now, and then we could be back to square one? Dr. Sabina.
Taking place because of addiction. They drive very fast. A woman had come to us because her husband died, and she told us, a road accident, that he was on drugs. And because the vehicle was in her name, she was also kind of dragged into that whole accident. So accidents are taking place, unnatural deaths are taking place, the domestic violence is taking place. We have students who have been caught in this. There were incidents where the security of one a big institution was supplying drugs. We have cases in the jail where drugs are being supplied. So this is no small matter. And because we don't look at this issue seriously, that's why action is not forthcoming. You go to the northern belt, you sit in a restaurant, you can actually get the smell of drugs. Okay, so the police know, if a lay person can identify what is there in the air, I'm sure the police are trained. We have a narcotic cell which is dedicated to nabbing drug peddlers. They are catching, but I don't think they are going for the persons who are bringing in large-scale drugs. It's these small people who get arrested.
What we've highlighted is very significant, and I hope that more action is taken. Just acting against Curly's isn't enough. You need to go higher up the drug value chain and take action against those who run this syndicate. And I don't believe for a fact that this is just a consumption side problem. There is plentiful availability of drugs in Goa at a large scale, and that needs to be acted against. For the time being, Fiona McEwen, Vikas Singhmar, Sachin Phogat and Sabina Martins for joining me on the Newstrack. Thank you. I want to show our viewers now where the investigation stands at this moment. The investigation in this case is intensifying. The Goa police team is currently in Hisar in Haryana. This is where Phogat owned a farmhouse and a bungalow. Sonali's family alleges that Sonali was murdered because her personal assistant wanted to grab her property. The exact cause of Sonali Phogat's death still remains a mystery.
The mood is somber at Sonali Phogat's family home in Hisar. A frenzied investigation underway less than 15 kilometers away on the city outskirts. Teams of Goa and Haryana police arrived at Phogat's 6.5-acre farmhouse. Sudhir Sagwan and Sukhwinder Singh, two of the 5 suspects under arrest in connection with the former TikTok star's alleged murder, are believed to have been frequent visitors to this sprawling estate.
Goa police team has reached Sonali Phogat's farmhouse. We can see 2 Goa police team members along with the Haryana Hisar police officials have reached at the Sonali Phogat's farmhouse, where the accused Sudhir Sagwan and his friend regularly used to visit.
Investigations by the police teams of the 2 states have now expanded into accusations that one of Sonali Phogat's assistants, Sudhir Sagwan, plotted to grab her properties in Hisar and Gurugram.
वो काफी टाइम से ये षड्यंत्र रच रहा है जी कि इनको परिवार को सबसे पहले तो वही परिवार को दूर करे, धीरे धीरे फिर उसको काबू में लिया ताकि परिवार साथ नहीं देगा तो इसका मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ। उसने मतलब गुड़गांव फ्लैट है वो भी अपने नाम किया है और भी कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं जो अभी तक हमें पता नहीं है, उसकी डिटेल हम बाद में निकलवाएंगे।
Sonali Phogat's immediate family has alleged property-related motive behind her suspected murder.
गोवा पुलिस हरियाणा में आए और गुड़गांव फ्लैट को खोला जाए तो वहां सोनाली फोगाट के परिवारजनों की मौजूदगी में ही उनको खोला जाए, क्योंकि आरोपियों के द्वारा पहले भी बहुत सबूत मिटा दिए गए हैं।
An accountant of Sonali Phogat, Shivam, is being questioned after the family alleged he made off with digital and paper evidence of his employer's properties. A laptop recovered from him has been sent for forensic examination. Meantime, Goa police are staying put in Hisar for at least a day.
कुछ बताना है। संत नगर जा रहे हैं या अभी यहीं पर ही वापस आ रहे हैं? कंटिन्यू हो रहा है। सर क्या आज यहीं पर ही रुकेंगे क्योंकि पता चला कुछ प्लानिंग किसी।
The Phogat family continues to push its demand for a CBI probe into the alleged murder of the 43-year-old in Goa. Their call echoed by her party at the political level.
परिवार की अपेक्षा जैसे उन्होंने मुख्यमंत्री जी के सामने जाहिर की थी या पहले भी उन्होंने जाहिर की है कि सीबीआई जांच हो, वो परिवार ने दोबारा कहा है। मैं भी बात करूंगा गोवा के मुख्यमंत्री जी से, हरियाणा के मुख्यमंत्री जी से भी आग्रह कराएंगे।
Police are treating Phogat's death as a murder case. 5 suspects taken in so far, the drug and property angles being probed. But how she passed out still remains a mystery. A mystery till her viscera samples are examined and reported to establish the exact cause of her death. With Manjeet Sehgal in Hisar and Arvind Ojha in Goa, Bureau Report, India Today.
We'll keep tracking the Sonali Phogat murder case very closely. Coming back on the other side of a quick break, over 120 hours and counting, Karnataka's prominent Lingayat seer accused of raping minor girls still roams free. Why is the police and government looking the other way? Details on the other side.
I'm the early bird who gets the news. The fresh morning air is my energizer. With me around, there are no dwindled dawns. Only bright, action-packed mornings. Rise and shine with me every single day, and you'll never hit that snooze button.
Good morning, India. Why wake up any other way when you can witness magic every single day? Watch First Up with me, Akshita Nandagopal, right here on India Today TV. With every sunrise comes new beginnings, new opportunities and new stories. And that's why we're First Up. While you're sleeping, we're hard at work to ensure you get the perfect news shot every morning. Get you all the updates. Our morning mission, to get you news that's fresh and packed with flavor. Watch First Up every weekday morning with me, Akshita Nandagopal, right here on India Today.
Co-powered by The World Comes Together at Sharda University. Co-powered by RK Marble, Khoobsurat Imandari. In association with Dell, advice and expertise to help your business grow. EcoLink LED lights and fans.
I don't read the news. I read between the lines to tell you the true version of events, the true story of our times.
To document grief, the toughest assignment for any journalist to be.
From those who matter,
Women politicians going to stick up for each other.
of those who should matter, I document the truth. I don't distort the truth. I don't glamorize the truth. I don't gloss over the truth.
The ghosts of India's contentious medieval history have come knocking again.
I hustle for the truth. On the ground, in the newsroom, in the studio. I don't try to grab eyeballs.
I inform you to make you see the point.
To the Point with Preeti Chaudhary. At these times, only on India Today.
Co-powered by RK Marble, Khoobsurat Imandari. In association with JioMart, Har Ghar Ka Mart.
Kerala's public health. All political parties traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political black.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct. Setting the tone for the biggest stories. From every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
You're on board the Newstrack. Over 120 hours after he was charged with raping minor girls, the Muruga Mutt Lingayat seer continues to roam free. Today, after days of outrage, the girls living at the Mutt hostel were moved out, but the seer himself stays safe at the premises. What is the Karnataka police waiting for?
It has been over 118 hours since a rape case was lodged against him. But the Lingayat Mutt seer Shivamurti Muruga Sharanaru still roams free. The police paid another visit to the Mutt on Wednesday, but did not take the seer into custody. The pontiff is accused of raping 2 minor girls, that's right, child rape, of 2 minor girls staying at the school hostel attached to the Mutt. Shivamurti is booked under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, or POCSO, a non-bailable offence. The seer has claimed the rape case is a conspiracy against him. With elections in view, political leaders and other seers have rallied behind Shivamurthy. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi and former Karnataka Chief Minister and BJP MLA Jagdish Shettar are the latest to come out in his support.
Arresting and non-arresting is not an issue. The investigation should be proper. I hope the Karnataka government and Karnataka police are doing the proper investigation.
Swamiji already expressed that is some vested interest. These all false allegations have been made. He is cooperating for the investigation and in the legal process, what investigation going on, it is going on. And law will take its own course.
The lone voice demanding action against the Lingayat seer is BJP MLC H. Vishwanath.
Why do you think the BJP has not instructed the police to act and arrest him?
I don't know, because the ruling party has to pay for it in the next elections. The people of Karnataka are watching.
You're part of the BJP, sir.
Maybe I may be the part of the BJP, but I am for the law of the land. I am for the harassment against these minor girls.
Right.
I am for the protection of those,
A counter complaint has been filed against former JDS MLA and former Muruga Mutt administrator S.K. Basavarajan by Rashmi, warden of the Mutt. The second FIR charges the former administrator with rape and kidnapping. The complainant warden is also an accused in the original POCSO case against the Mutt pontiff. Elections in the state are scheduled next year, and no political party wants to offend the powerful Lingayat community. But it surely exposes the insensitive, even cowardly netas who are fine with doing politics even on a child rape case. With Sagai Raj in Chitradurga, Karnataka, Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where I wrap up the Newstrack tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. Wishing all of you a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye, good night.
traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political black.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories